What's up, guys? It's Al with Coop's Car Correction. I got a new video and we're gonna be working on this 23 Raptor. These new Raptors I'm really liking. I'm not the biggest Ford fan, but these new Raptors are badass. Interior's super nice on them. The seats are really cool, and I think you could even get like the Recaro race seats, which are a little bit different than this, but like, man, these seats are pretty sweet as they are. But yeah, anyways, so this customer just it's new to them. It was used with a few thousand miles, I think like 3,000 or 4,000 miles on it, and he wants it. He was kind of afraid to own black because he's very picky. He doesn't like scratches, swirls, but he also knows that if things are easier to keep clean, i.e. with a coat, example, with a coating on them, it's harder to scratch because you're not fighting to keep it clean. It looks better longer, so you're not washing it as often. It's easier to dry, and the coating has protection against scratching to a certain level on itself. So he was like, I want this thing to look perfect. Do what you gotta do with it, coat it. I haven't seen it until today. It's dirty, so I can't really tell scratches, swirl-wise under it. I don't know how in-depth of a paint correction it needs, but like I said, he trusts me. He said, do what you gotta do in it, make it look perfect, get a coating on it. So, I'm going to be, first thing, washing it, doing a two-step decon, an iron remover, and clay mitt on this, and then dry it down, and probably let it sit for a little bit before I start taping stuff off and buffing it. I hate trying to tape around all this stuff when it's wet. Trying to buff when there's water, it turns like the compound into concrete, just not fun. Usually I'll just find something else to do in the meantime. I'll clean the interior out a little bit, yada yada, but that's just like my tip of doing these so many times. Like, I hate rushing into buffing things and trying to tape it right after washing. Just not fun. You're gonna spend more time trying to get like tape to stick and rubbing the compound off. But anyways, yeah, gonna get washing it, so stay tuned. Hopefully you guys see some tips, tricks I use, and see some of the products I'm using, which is cool. This would be my first video. I'll go through and show you my own, or our own, Coop's Graphene Pro ceramic coating system that we're going to use on a full vehicle. So it'll be awesome. Glad you guys are watching. Like, subscribe, and stay tuned. Time for some iron remover. I prefer Adam stuff. Adam polishes iron remover, but I ran out, so I had to get this stuff from O'Reilly's. It was readily available. So this stuff works good, it just stinks. So that's why I really don't like it that much. But anyways, just gonna put it, spray it on the panel and let it sit for a little bit. So, started to cut it. I did a couple test pads and different polishes, compounds. At first, like I've said before in other videos, I always want to start with the least aggressive first to see if it works. Because you take off less clear coat, it ends up being less work, faster. You get a better shine, yada yada. Sometimes you get away with one step. So anyways, I tried a foam pad with some correcting polish. Wasn't cutting it. I tried the foam pad with compound and it was working on like 90% of the spots, but this truck, I don't know from automatic washes or what, there's quite a bit of deeper scratches, not terrible, but enough where I said, screw it. I'm just going to do a microfiber pad, cut the whole truck that way. It's going to be way quicker. I just got to be better when I go to polish and, make sure you refine it good so that way it's got good shine, no haziness, no leftover swirls, and all that good stuff. So this is what it looks like. I did this area, just hazy, no deep scratches. If you look, I'm always unsure if this stuff's gonna show up on camera. But like right there, I think you could see it. There's deeper scratches like that all over. Nothing terrible, but enough to justify me using a microfiber pad just to cut deeper quicker and save myself some time, because time is money. Regardless if you're getting paid or you're doing it on your own stuff, I don't want to spend more time doing this stuff. Like, I love doing it, but there's days where I'm like, I don't want to be behind a polisher anymore. And the more I do it, the less I want to be behind a polisher, but it pays the bills. I don't have a boss. I like the end product. But if you've polished and paint corrected cars, it is very time consuming, monotonous, kind of brain mushing work. Like, you got to know what you're doing. It's very detail oriented, but there's 100 different things I'd rather be doing than spending 10 hours at a time behind a polisher. So we're gonna get after it, and hopefully today get this truck all cut, and then tomorrow polish and coat, all that good stuff. But yeah, that's the plan. So I didn't necessarily show you, but here's what I got. I guess you consider this like a 3-inch, 5.5 inch, or 5-inch, and then like a little 1.5, 2-incher. And using these pads, microfiber pads, boom, boom, Adams compound. And yeah, so this truck, like, it doesn't have a ton of surface area because, it's got like all these flares and paint, like different painted stuff that, I don't know what you consider that, but this stuff's not getting buffed or polished. But these aggressive body lines and stuff, it's not like I could just run my big polisher 15 millimeter over it. Like, I got to use a small polisher to correct all that. And when you hopping into those smaller polishers, it eats up time quick. So enough of talking. Like I said, I don't want to waste any more time. I got to get after this. All right, so I got a quick tip for you guys, and this might be like my PDR side coming out. But anyways, when I do PDR, or really anybody, at least that knows what they're doing, the farther you push your light away, the more imperfections in the panel you're gonna see. So as you're doing like pushing it down out, you keep creeping the light farther and further back, so that way you see the low of the panel more and more. I guess you would say exaggerated, but like I said, it kind of like amplifies everything you see the farther you push the light away, and that's like the farther you push it away, the better, flatter the panel you can make. So I see like 90% of people that paint correct, or like I see people on Instagram or Facebook, whatever, they always have the light like straight behind them and it's pointing straight at the panel, which is good. Like you could see the majority of the scratches straight on that way if they're bad. But like if the scratches are going in a different angle, you know, like you gotta play the reflection. So when I'm doing like paint correcting, like I'll constantly be moving the light so I can look at it on an angle like this versus just looking at the panel dead on, because you're only gonna see so many scratches dead on. But when you have the light shining on it almost like parallel, but like on a slight angle, and you're looking at it, like when you're watching me, like you can constantly see me looking at the panel like this and moving my head back and forth looking for scratches, because like I said, you're only gonna see so many when you have the light straight on it like that. And if you want it to look the best, like you don't always know which direction lighting is gonna hit the car, you don't know where the sun's at on the car, so moving your lighting, different angles, you're gonna find more scratches. It's gonna cause you to have way more work. But if you're doing like a true correction, you need to be moving that light around to find all those scratches. Because if you're just having that light blasting straight behind you and working the panel in one direction, you're only gonna fix the scratches you could see in that direction, and you can't fix what you can't see. So pro tip, move the light around, move it, you know, on an angle, shining across the panel. Like the more angles you can work on the panels while you're buffing, the more scratches you're going to take care of and see, and the finer finish you're going to have, finished product you have. So pro tip, don't just shine the light straight behind you. And even too, when you're checking, like if you have a handheld one, like shine it from down up, shine it from up down, get down, you know, like you don't just flash the light straight on it and walk like this to check the panel. Little rant / info. Move the light around. That's it. All right, getting her polished up. I'm using some white foam pads and Adam's polish. And it is coming out mint. So gonna get it all polished up and then get to coating it. Gonna end up pulling the wheels off of this one, coat the fronts and backs. Gotta bake the coating on, put some ceramic topper on top of it. But yeah, that's it. So all the nasty hard work is done. Now polishing and coating. The finishing touches is when you start to really appreciate how it's looking. So. All right, so we got this thing all polished and prep sprayed, used Coop's panel prep, get all the oil and waxes off of it. And now we're gonna put the coating on. So we're using here Coop's Graphene Pro Ceramic Coating. It is a 7-year coating, have tons of gloss, super easy to put on and wipe off level it off. But I'm gonna do a little time lapse of us putting it on. And I got Logan. What's up, Logan? He's helping me out today. And yeah, get this thing coated and cured today. Thing looks awesome. So got everything coated, everything cured, and then put a coating of spray application of ceramic topper detail spray, and she's all good to go, ready to hit the road. Looks awesome. If you're interested in any of the products, they're on, I'll put a link in the description, but it's www.coopscarcorrection.com/shop, and check them out. I appreciate all the support.